Hi guys, Chris here. First of all, guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Sorry I haven't really been uploading much recently. I kind of broke my promise to you in a way. Well, I don't actually know if I made a promise if I look back on it. But I remember when I first sort of started my channel and I was talking about New Year's resolutions, I wanted to average one a day. And yesterday I went on and I realised I'm actually 7 videos behind my target. So I'm not really going to be able to upload every single day because sometimes, well, I've got a full-time job. Sometimes I'm going out to see people. I can't really do it every day, but what I want to do is I want to do it average 1 video a day. So my promise is to you, my goal is to get back up to an average of 1 a day, so I'm about 7 days behind. So in addition to doing averaging 1 a day from now, I need to make up for those 7 videos. It's not just about pumping out videos for the sake of pumping out videos, but it's more about being able to put regular content out there for people, to try and help people however I can. Try and give kind of, how can I put it, like kind of like a basis or a grounding. That's what, like, a grounding to for people to sort of follow every day, to try and keep them on the right track. So sorry I haven't really uploaded as much as I wanted to over the last 2 weeks or so, but I am going to pull my finger out and I'm going to get back into it. So today's video, guys, is going to be what I'm going to call this Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and why is cancer is here to stay, part 2, I reckon. And the reason why is, so you saw my last video, or one of my last videos, about Bret Hart, who sadly got prostate cancer, and in that video I really talked about some of the rhetoric that people come out with when they have cancer or someone else has cancer, on a wide social basis, where they talk about trying to eradicate cancer in everyone. And I just basically talked about why it's going to fail, because they're not addressing the root cause. So today I want us to look at Barack Obama and Joe Biden, what they're doing and what they're doing wrong, how they can do it better, how those of you who are watching this who are American citizens can do something about it. I'm not an American citizen, I'm Manx, so I don't really have a right to really write to any members of Congress, Barack Obama or Joe Biden, etc., because as a non-American citizen, I don't, it wouldn't really be appropriate for them to respond to me. Not that they probably would do anyway. But what I basically want is for my American viewers, and well, everyone really who's watching this, to basically sit back and just think about some of the things I'm going to say, and just dwell on them a bit. But first of all, guys, I'm just going to quickly show you my breakfast today, and then we'll get into the video. So this is my breakfast here, guys. So as you can see, I don't know how well it comes out to you, but as you can see, I've got quite a lot of fruit here. I've actually had to start using a mixing bowl to put all my food in, because a regular bowl isn't big enough. So in here I've got about 7 bananas, about 4 or 5 clementines. I've got some Peruvian dates. Peruvian dates aren't that as good as the Israeli ones, I have to admit. Israeli dates, medjool dates, are a lot larger, a lot nicer, but the Peruvian ones are all I can get at the moment until the Israeli ones come back. So in this meal, guys, here I have about 1,050 calories, 276 grams of carbs total, 27 grams of fibre. So in this one meal I have 2 times the amount of fibre that the average American would have in a day, just in one meal. And so there's 276 grams of carbs roughly. There's only 2.7 grams of fat. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. Ignore Unnatural Vegan on that one. Listen to Dr. McDougall, he's the best. Protein, I've got 11.7 grams. So I'm going to smash this down, and then let's get into the video. So as you probably heard in the news, Barack Obama, the President of the United States, in his last State of the Union address in January, he came out with a new initiative. So he's tasked his Vice President, Joe Biden, with the task of basically trying to find a cure for cancer, and he's been given $1 billion to do that. So the goal is essentially to invest that $1 billion in early detection, research, to basically just try and cure cancer. So basically, going back to my last video about Bret Hart, about why cancer is here to stay, I just wanted to talk today about what Barack Obama and Joe Biden are doing and why it's doomed to failure. So straight away I'm going to tell you, it's doomed to failure because they're not addressing the cause. So if you listen to, you know, President Obama's speech, or that, or anything that Mr. Biden's come out with, you'll see that they never once mention animal products. They just don't. And if you're not willing to mention that, if you're not willing to, you know, identify and, you know, recognize the cause of the overwhelming vast majority of cancer, you can't, you know, possibly hope to cure it. It's just a waste of time. And here's the thing, let's say if you find some magical cure for cancer, which you're not going to be able to. I mean, they haven't done it for anything else, have they? What are they going to do going forwards? Because that isn't going to prevent people from getting cancer, is it? You're still going to get, you know, people getting cancer in droves, and that still means you're going to have to administer whatever this cure is, which is going to be likely very expensive. It's just very irrational. And if you look at the state of the US at the moment, it has about $19 trillion of debt. I think I don't know, I imagine the federal budget deficit is probably around about $1 trillion now. I haven't seen it recently, but I remember over the last couple of years that's what it's been at, around roughly, I think. And it's just very unsustainable, and it's madness. So this $1 billion they want to spend on early detection, in addition to the cancer research, they're trying to cure it. So again, early detection, it can often do more harm than good. So if you listen to a really interesting webinar by Dr. John McDougall with Dr. Gustavo Tolosa, Dr. McDougall explains that, you know, in early detection, it's actually quite harmful. So for example, if you take, you know, prostate cancer, 50% of men over 50 have prostate cancer. And if you look at breast cancer, you know, 40% of women over 40 have breast cancer. So straight away, when you see the cases of breast cancer and prostate cancer there, it's very high. Now then, I'm not saying that those, you know, 40% of the population in those age groups have been diagnosed, but what I'm saying is if you were to take a representative sample of the population, it would indicate, you know, 15-40% respectively have those different cancers. And if you go looking for those cancers, you end up in a situation where people, they have these knee-jerk reactions, and they then want, you know, the breasts cut off, or they want their prostate cut out, and they want radiation, and they do more harm to themselves than good, because in the cancers themselves are actually at a they're growing so slowly they can never kill a person. And that's what a lot of people don't realise, that sometimes cancer, it can grow slowly, it would never kill you. You'd have to live to like 140 for the cancer to double to the stage where it could actually kill you. So again, early detection, I don't think it's the best, because again, it's not curing cancer, it's just trying to find more people to funnel towards the pharmaceutical industry, to make the pharmaceutical industry rich. And, you know, cancer research, I honestly think it's a waste of time. Why? Because we know what causes the majority of cancer, so why don't we just address the cause? And this is how I would address the cause. If I were, you know, Mr. Obama, the President of the United States, this is what I would do with that $1 billion. I would spend that $1 billion on advertising, you know, to try and let Americans know the meat they're eating, that they're eating, along with the fish, chicken, eggs, milk and dairy, and a lot of the processed junk food, which overwhelmingly contains animal products most of the times, is what is killing them. I would want a federal law passed that requires all children in all schools to be taught that animal products kill. And I would have it done in, you know, I'd have the courses designed by, you know, professionals, experts who can present the information in a easy to understand way for children, and, you know, that allows them to understand it basically. Now, obviously it would be targeted to children for the appropriate age. It wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be, you know, taking 4-year-old children and talking to them about really extreme things. But what I would do is I would have education and courses and lessons catered to children based upon, you know, their level of, you know, maturity, their mental age of learning, where they're at, and basically teach kids what to eat. So I'd have kids taught that, you know, they eat vegetables, that they eat fruit, and I wouldn't allow children to be taught to eat, you know, pig flesh or chicken periods or baby cow milk or, you know, cow or cattle muscles. I wouldn't allow children to have their minds warped in that way. And in addition to that, I would have all animal products banned from schools. I'd have this done as a federal law that would apply to all schools in every single state, as well as universities. If people want to take those foods in with them, it's a bit hard to stop, but you know, the schools themselves will not be allowed to sell or serve those different foods. I wouldn't allow it. You know, for those of you in America who listen to me, forgive me if, you know, my understanding of the legal setup there is slightly off, but you know, I'm just saying this is what I would do, you know, if I had the power, because these initiatives are good. In addition to that, I would have a federal law, again if this is legally possible, that requires every single doctor in the US with medical license who's practicing to have to undergo a course within, let's say, 1 or 2 years of the respective legislation coming out, requiring them to, you know, go on a course that learns about nutrition, because most doctors, they don't know anything. They really don't. If they did, they would be saying to their patients, stop eating meat, don't worry about protein, where's your fibre. You know, they're the issues that they would be on about. They'd be worried about the patients getting enough fibre and, you know, enough vitamins and minerals, enough whole plant foods in them. They'd be worried about their patients, you know, eating these dead animals, these toxic carcinogenic chemicals, and they would get their patients off them. But they can't do that until they've been taught, can they? I'd have the course designed by Dr. You know, well, what I would do is I'd put together like an advisory committee with, you know, Dr. Greger, Dr. McDougall, Dr. Davis, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Campbell, Dr. Bernard, Dr. Ornish, doctors that we can all trust, who aren't shills for the pharmaceutical industry or the meat industry, doctors who have shown time and again that they are trustworthy men worthy of respect and admiration because they care about people's lives more than they'd care about money. Men who, you know, I would, you know, trust those men with my life, the life of, you know, my family, if I had to. Well, you know, if I was in a situation like that, I'd trust them, you know, explicitly, and they would be, you know, responsible for, you know, overseeing the courses that were created, the content. They would have to sign off on it, and basically what I would do is I begin to try and re-educate the country. In addition to that, I would, did I already mention this? I can't remember. I would end all, you know, subsidies to the different cancer promoting industries, and by cancer promoting I mean egg industries, dairy industry, meat industry, etc. And I would tax these industries to death. I would tax them till they died, because they are evil. I'm sorry, but they're evil. They kill so many people with their food. They make their workers sick and unhealthy. Their workers have much higher rates of cancer. They get paid terribly. And what I would do is I would take all the subsidies that goes to these different industries, and I would give them to, you know, farmers or farms that want to, you know, grow vegetables, grow grain, or it could be that, you know, you already have a farmer who's receiving, you know, subsidies. So what you say to him is, well, is that if you promise to, you know, stop, you know, producing, you know, beef, you know, stop, you know, selling animals to be consumed, and start using your land for, you know, growing produce for people, you know, growing grain, strawberries, you know, whatever the land that is there can grow, you know, what that land is geared to, whether it's geared to potatoes or vegetables, like broccoli or, I don't know, leeks, parsnips, carrots, whatever. Get them growing food and allow this farmers the chance to transition from, you know, being part of the problem to being part of the solution. And that's basically what I think needs to happen, guys. I know that there's probably, you know, an oversimplification as such. I didn't mean to, but, you know, let's be honest, I ramble enough as it is. So if I were to try and go into too much detail, we'd be here forever. But you can see that is sort of the broad outline of what I would do and what I genuinely think needs to happen. You know, Mr. Obama, Mr. Biden, they need to wake up. They desperately need to wake up, because you know, the US it's so unhealthy, and I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to sit here as some non-American, you know, criticize the US. I love the US. I think the US is a great country. You know, all my favorite TV shows are, you know, American movies, American. Most of the media I read is American. All the doctors I follow and trust, they all happen to be American. So this isn't me trying to hate on America. This is just me in response to these events that are happening in the US, specifically Joe Biden getting $1 billion to go and fight cancer. This is just me, you know, giving my thoughts and opinions on why it's going to fail and what they could do instead. And here's the thing, I mean, if they listen to me, or if they just listen to Dr. McDougall and, you know, Dr. Campbell, people who've been saying this for years, and who are American citizens, the US would become so healthy. You know, if the US could transform itself from, you know, from living off animal products and junk food to a whole food plant-based diet, you'd see heart disease disappear, diabetes, obesity, majority of cancer, atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's, dementia, long term, they would disappear. You know, the budget deficit would decline. You would see, you know, people's health improving, and as a country, you'd just be so much better off. And I would, you know, I'm not just talking about America, but you could take this, you know, these sort of solution ideas that I've come up with, which aren't exhaustive, and apply them to nearly any Western country, whether it be England, my country, the Isle of Man, you know, Germany, France, Canada, whoever, any Western country that's fat, sick and dying. Take this, you know, this approach and basically get people off the dead animals, off the animal products, and get them onto plant products. So I hope that was useful, guys. You know, what kind of positive actions can I try and, you know, give people to take away if you want to take away from it? Be the best vegan you can, be as healthy as you possibly can to you know, give the greatest message to people around you. Sometimes the best message that you can ever give to people is a message that isn't spoken. It's a message where you just live your life and be the best example you can be. Just allow people to just look at you and see how, you know, lean and healthy you are, how full of energy you are, and sometimes that in itself can speak volumes. You know, keep on speaking to your family, to your relatives. I actually managed to get my mum, good news guys, I actually managed to get my mum to watch Forks Over Knives the other day. I think I've got a bit more work left to do, but yeah, managed to get my mum to watch it. Hopefully can get my other relatives to try and think about it at least. You know, and remember, there are a million ways to try and get people to go, you know, vegan. You can do it from a health perspective, the perspective of the animals, the fact that 17,000 children die every day because we give grain to animals instead of, you know, people. You know, 50% of greenhouse gases caused by animal products. So if we all went vegan, we could stop that. So there's a number of different arguments, different angles of attack that you can come from to try and, you know, appeal to someone, you know, on a either an emotional or a logical or an you know, logical or intellectual you know, level to get them to go vegan and to, you know, change their life. If you're someone who's watching this who is an American citizen, you know, I'm not an American citizen, so it wouldn't really be right for me to do this, but, you know, consider, you know, setting something up on change.org to, you know, try and or something along those lines, to try and appeal to, you know, President Obama and President Biden to spend that $1 billion to, you know, get people off the, you know, the animal products. The White House, they actually respond to, I think it's any petitions over with over 100,000 signatures. Vegans make up, you know, 1% of, you know, the population in the US. So what's that? That's about 3.3 million people. So I'm pretty sure if, you know, every vegan in the US got together and signed a petition saying, we want you to start promoting, you know, whole food plant-based diets to stop cancer, you know, and you all went out of your way to share, you know, research, you know, the different doctors I always talk about, the logics, the facts, you could have a real big impact. So if you're someone who's watching this and you're an American citizen, think about setting up a petition now. Spend some time, really think about the wording, how you want to, you know, do it to get, you know, the best impact. Share it. If you make it, let me know. and I'll do a video on it and I'll share it, try and get people to, you know, sign it. I wouldn't be able to sign it because I'm not an American citizen, but those of you who are, you know, get it signed. Imagine those things, they only take a few minutes. I mean, look at Steven Avery. Steven Avery, you know, from Making a Murderer. The White House, they actually responded to his petition. They couldn't do anything, but at least they managed to respond. So if we could get to, say, 100,000 signatures, we could make it visible, and basically, hopefully, reach out to President Obama and Vice President Biden and get them to, you know, use that $1 billion for good. So I hope that was useful, guys. Sorry if that was such a ramble, a bit of a rant. I didn't mean it to be so disjointed, but you know what I'm like. I'm not really one of those people who's very good at doing jump cuts or anything like that. I just like to sit in front of you and be as genuine as possible, so you can, you know, just see how I am. I hope it wasn't too boring. I hope it was informative in some way. I hope there's something you took away from it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If there's someone out there who you think would benefit from it, perhaps share it with them if you would like. Any questions, put them in the comments below. I don't know everything, only a fool knows everything, but I'll always try and, you know, help you however I can. Until next time, God bless. I hope every one of you doing well. Remember, go high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based, vegan, for the planet, for the animals, for the people, and for the 17,000 children who die every single day because they don't have enough food to eat. Bye-bye now. A quick video on the best way to avoid animal products. So a lot of people I see who are going vegan or who are vegan, they can sometimes struggle with the best way to avoid animal products, because the reason is that, so in addition to doing, you know, averaging one a day from now, I need to make up for those 7 videos. It's not just about pumping out videos for the sake of pumping out videos, but it's more about, you know, being able to put regular content out there for people, you know, to try and help people however I can, you know, try and give, you know, kind of, how can I put it, like kind of like a basis, or, you know, a grounding. That's what, like, you know, a grounding to, you know, for people to sort of, you know, follow every day to try and, you know, keep them on the right track. So sorry I haven't really, you know, uploaded as much as I wanted to over the last 2 weeks or so, but I am going to, you know, pull my finger out and I'm going to get back into it. So today's video, guys, is going to be what I'm going to call this: Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and why is cancer is here to stay, part 2, I reckon. And the reason why is, so you saw my last video, or one of my last videos, about Bret Hart, who sadly got prostate cancer, and in that video I really talked about some of the rhetoric that people come out with when, you know, they have cancer or someone else has cancer, you know, on a wide social basis, where they talk about trying to eradicate cancer in everyone, and I just basically talked about why it's going to fail. Because they're not addressing the root cause. So today I want us to look at, you know, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, what they're doing and what they're doing wrong, how they can do it. Hi guys, Chris here. First of all, guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Sorry I haven't really been uploading much recently. I kind of broke my promise to you in a way. Well, I don't actually know if I made a promise if I look back on it. But I remember when I first sort of started my channel and I was talking about New Year's resolutions, I wanted to average 1 a day. And yesterday I went on and I realised I'm actually 7 videos behind my target. So I'm not really going to be able to upload every single day, because sometimes, you know, well, I've got a full-time job. Sometimes I'm going out to see people. You know, I can't really do it every day, but what I want to do is I want to do it average 1 video a day. So my promise is to you, my goal is to get back up to an average of 1 a day, so I'm about 7 days behind. I don't know how well you can, well it comes out to you, but as you can see, I've got quite a lot of you know, fruit here. I've actually had to start using a mixing bowl to put all my food in, because a regular bowl isn't big enough. So in here I've got about 7 bananas, about 4 or 5 clementines. I've got some Peruvian dates. Peruvian dates aren't that as good as the Israeli ones, I have to admit. Israeli dates, medjool dates, are a lot larger, a lot nicer, but the Peruvian ones are all I can get at the moment until the Israeli ones come back. So in this meal, guys, here I have about 1,050 calories, 276 grams of carbs total, 27 grams of fibre, so better. how those of you who are watching this who are American citizens can, you know, do something about it. I'm not an American citizen. I'm Manx, so I don't really have a right to really write to any, you know, members of Congress, you know, Barack Obama or Joe Biden, etc. Because as a non-American citizen, I don't, you know, it wouldn't really be appropriate for them to respond to me. Not that they probably would do anyway. But what I basically want is for my American viewers, and well, everyone really who's watching this, to basically sit back and just think about some of the things I'm going to, you know, say, and just you know, dwell on them a bit. But first of all, though, guys, I'm just going to quickly show you my breakfast today, and then we'll get into the video. So this is my breakfast here, guys. So as you can see,